When heroes fall. The Phoenix Rise Academy gym smells like sweat, broken dreams and new hopes. Fluorescent lights flicker over the court where 6 girls are about to discover that sometimes losing what you love most is the first step to finding something even greater. Giovanna. What the heck was that? My 80-year-old grandmother jumps higher than you. Coach, I just need. No excuses. You were our star. The captain who took us to state semifinals last year. And now it looks like you're scared to leave the ground. Giovanna Mendez, 15 years old. Hair red as fire and freckles that dance across her cheeks when she smiles. But today there are no smiles. Only the harsh reality that her jump, that explosive power that made her soar like a phoenix, had vanished. Gio, we all have bad days. It's not a bad day, Maya. It's been 3 months. 3 months where every time I try to jump it's like my legs are made of lead. Great. Our captain turned into dead weight right when regionals start. Shut up, Sophia. Giovanna's given everything for this team. And there it was. Phoenix Rise Academy wasn't just a volleyball team. They were 6 girls with 6 different stories. 6 hearts that beat in sync only when they were on that court. But now, with their leader broken, could they still fly together? How can you lead a team when you can't do the one thing that made you special? Let me tell you about Giovanna's journey. How she went from being the girl who could touch the sky to the girl who was afraid to leave the ground. But more importantly, how she discovered that sometimes falling is just the beginning of learning how to fly in a completely different way. A year ago, Giovanna Mendez was a legend. Her jumps defied gravity. Her spikes cut through the air like lightning bolts. Younger girls would watch her practice and whisper among themselves, "I want to be like her." She was the kind of player who made impossible plays look effortless, who could single-handedly change the momentum of any game. Come on, girls. One more point and we're regional champions. That was Giovanna at her peak. Confident, powerful, unstoppable. The crowd would hold their breath every time she approached the net, knowing they were about to witness something spectacular. Her teammates trusted her completely. When the pressure was on, when they needed a miracle, they looked to their captain with the red hair and the impossible vertical leap. But heroes fall too. And sometimes they fall in silence, while nobody notices they're fighting battles that go beyond any volleyball court. The first time Giovanna's jump failed her, she thought it was just fatigue. The second time, maybe nerves. But as weeks turned into months, as her frustration grew and her confidence crumbled, she began to realize that something fundamental had changed. The girl who once soared now struggled to get her feet off the ground. Every practice became a reminder of what she'd lost. Every failed attempt to spike the ball with her old power felt like another piece of her identity slipping away. Her teammates started to whisper, not in admiration like before, but in concern and sometimes frustration. What do you do when your superpower disappears? When the thing that defined you, that made you special, simply vanishes without explanation. Giovanna was about to find out that sometimes the greatest transformations come from our deepest losses. Giovanna, can I talk to you? Luna approached her after another particularly difficult practice. Luna was the quiet one on the team, the server who had struggled for years to find consistency. She wasn't the star, wasn't the one everyone looked to for miraculous plays. But sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from unexpected places. Luna, if you're here to tell me to quit as captain, I'm already thinking about it. Quite the opposite. I'm here to tell you a secret. What? I lost something too. My serve. For 2 years I couldn't serve without the ball flying into the bleachers. Coaches benched me. Teammates got frustrated. I wanted to quit volleyball altogether. You know what I discovered? What? That sometimes we lose our superpowers to discover new ones. Maybe your jump left so you could find something bigger. Like what? My ability to warm the bench. Like your ability to see what we can't see. Like knowing exactly what each of us needs to shine. Like being the captain who doesn't need to be the star to make all of us shine together. And in that moment, something changed in Giovanna's green eyes. It wasn't her jump returning. It was something deeper. Something that had been growing quietly beneath her frustration and self-doubt. It was understanding that leading doesn't always mean being in front. Sometimes it means lifting others up so they can fly higher than you ever could alone. You guys still here? It's already 8 at night. Coach Silva found them in the gym, the lights casting long shadows across the empty court. Giovanna had been thinking about Luna's words, about what it might mean to redefine herself not as the star player, but as something else entirely. Coach, I want to propose something. I'm listening. I want to change my position. From outside hitter to setter. Coach Silva's whistle nearly fell from her mouth. In 20 years of coaching, she'd never heard anything quite like this. Are you crazy? You're our best attacker. Well, you were. Exactly. Always. But maybe I can be something more. Maybe I can be the one who makes the others fly. The silence stretched between them. Coach Silva had watched Giovanna struggle for months, had seen the fire in her eyes dim with each failed spike, each moment when her body wouldn't respond the way it used to. She'd been wondering how to help her star player, never imagining that the solution would come from Giovanna herself. It's risky. Regionals are in 3 weeks. No. But this team has talent. Real talent. Maya has the best blocking in the league when she's confident. Sophia is a scoring machine who just needs better sets. Camila can dig anything if she trusts her instincts. Luna has the most precise serve when she believes in herself. And Anna just needs to believe she can fly as high as she's always dreamed. And what do you get out of this? The chance to prove that a captain doesn't need to be the brightest star. She just needs to make all the others shine. And so began the transformation. Not just of Giovanna, but of the entire Phoenix Rise Academy team. Because sometimes when a phoenix can't fly, it learns to teach others how to soar. Does this mean we're going to try? No, Giovanna said. Her voice carrying a conviction that surprised even herself. Means we're going to succeed. But transformations are never easy. Over the next few days, Giovanna threw herself into learning the setter position with the same intensity she'd once brought to attacking. Setting required different skills, different instincts. Instead of focusing her power into explosive jumps and devastating spikes, she had to learn to read the game, to anticipate what each hitter needed, to become the orchestrator rather than the solo performer. Her hands, once used to gripping the ball for attacks, now had to learn the delicate touch of a perfect set. Her timing had to shift from her own rhythm to the rhythms of 5 other players. Most challenging of all, she had to learn to find satisfaction in other people's successes rather than her own. The team was skeptical at first. They'd relied on Giovanna's attacking for so long that seeing her in a supporting role felt wrong, like watching a singer become a conductor. But slowly, something began to change. Maya's blocks became more aggressive when she knew Giovanna was watching the opposing hitters and could call out their tendencies. Sophia's hits became more powerful when the sets came exactly where she needed them. Anna started to find her confidence when Giovanna would call her name and deliver perfect balls that made her feel like she could touch the sky. But transformations are never easy. And Giovanna was about to discover that leading from the shadows requires a strength she never knew she had. Because the next day they would receive news that would change everything. The Northern Tigers. In our regional bracket. But they won nationals last year. The gymnasium fell silent except for the echo of Maya's shocked voice. Every girl on the team knew about the Northern Tigers. They were legendary, a team that had dominated high school volleyball for 3 straight years. Their captain, Isabella Restrepo, was already being recruited by Division I colleges. They were fast, powerful, and seemingly invincible. Coach Silva looked at the tournament bracket, her expression grave. She'd hoped they might avoid the Tigers until the later rounds, giving Giovanna more time to settle into her new role. But fate had other plans. Girls' preparation time is over. Now is when we show what we're really made of. The weight of the challenge settled over them. The Northern Tigers weren't just another team. They represented everything Phoenix Rise Academy aspired to be. They were the standard against which all other teams measured themselves. And now, with their own star player reinventing herself and only 3 weeks to prepare, they would have to face the best team in the region. Giovanna felt the familiar flutter of doubt in her stomach. But this time it was different. She wasn't worried about her own performance, about whether her jump would return or whether she could still be the hero her team needed. Instead, she was thinking about Maya's tendency to second-guess herself against stronger opponents, about whether Sophia could handle the pressure of facing elite blockers, about whether Luna would tighten up in crucial serving moments. This was what leadership looked like from her new position. Instead of carrying the team on her shoulders, she had to help each player carry themselves. "Let the Tigers come," Giovanna said, her voice steady and sure. "We are Phoenix, and phoenixes rise from their ashes stronger than ever." As her teammates looked at her, they saw something they hadn't seen in months. Not the desperate intensity of someone trying to reclaim lost glory, but the calm confidence of someone who had found their true purpose. Giovanna Mendez might have lost her ability to fly, but she had discovered something even more powerful: the ability to help others soar. The next 3 weeks would test everything they thought they knew about themselves, about teamwork, about what it means to be champions. They would face not just the Northern Tigers, but their own fears, their own limitations, and their own definitions of success. But for now, in this moment, 6 hearts began to beat as one again. Not because their old leader had returned, but because their new leader had finally arrived. Next episode, 6 Hearts, One Dream, where we'll discover the secrets each player hides, the personal battles they must overcome, and whether Giovanna's transformation will be enough to face the defending national champions. Because sometimes the biggest victories happen not when we become who we used to be, but when we become who we were always meant to be.